The following is a Journey into Comics Network production.
Hey, this is Veronica from Foodies Watching Movies, and you're listening to the Journey into Comics Network Best of the Week show. Highlights from all the episodes on the network this week. Enjoy!
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Journey into Comics. Anyways, they sat in your car for a long time. Mm-hmm. How are cookies?
Cookies are very numbable.
Cardinal sin of podcast, never eat into the microphone, but it's late, Brando.
I don't give a fuck.
We're high on life. We just got done experiencing one of the coolest things.
I keep dropping bits of my cookie, and I'm so sad.
I'm so sorry that you keep dropping bits of your cookie. Welcome back to the podcast. It seems like we never really left. We almost totally left and never had that part of the episode. And I actually used a life hack, Brando. If you ever start to record over something on this board, just unplug the motherfucker. That's all you do.
As long as you've saved the other one prior.
Mm-hmm. As long as you saved the other one prior. I did it. I didn't fuck it up. I almost totally fucked it up, Brando. Even when I told you, I'm not going to fuck this up. I was going there. Anyways, my friend, you were the coolest bro in the whole world. And I'm using that word funnily because we've been using it a lot tonight and reflecting other things, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know who listens to the podcast, so I'm trying to be vague a little bit there. But,
bro.
Fair enough, right? So, you were like, hey, man, February 22nd, Ice Earth. They're going to be in Indy. And they've not played Indy in like 16 years, right?
I was something like that. Now, and I don't even think they played Indy proper. I think they played around.
Oh.
They were saying Indiana as a whole.
Oh, shit.
They haven't played anywhere in the state in that long.
Wow.
Now, it wasn't just the fact that it was the 22nd. It was, I missed them on the last album cycle because Plagues did not hit with me right away. It took a little bit. And in a way, the album never really has hit with me. But I dig it. It's a mood. It's a vibe. Similar story, different experience because the album's better than this. But it's like Saint Anger. You got to be in the mood.
Yeah, okay, I buy that.
You know, a lot of people piss on Saint Anger from like the Metallica album, but for Brando, for me, it's like I don't hate the album. I don't love it, but there's something I got to be in the right mood for. I've got to be like, you know, if I want to listen to the album, I got to be like. Either having just watched some kind of monster and I'm still feeling it, or I'm like just in that mood, and that's not very often.
Or one of those crazy mashups you showed me.
Yeah, exactly. But with Plagues, if I get random bits of songs now and again, that's cool. Because, I mean, I like a lot of songs on there, but to just dive right in from the intro and go in, I don't do it very often. And I missed that tour. That was the 14 tour, the 2014 tour. And I didn't go, and I kind of regretted it. Like, especially when after seeing the set list and having gone in 2008 with you, you know, like we teased before, 10 years ago, I invited Tony, a mutual friend, a former bandmate of ours. He got me into the band, and I just was like, dude, it's perfect. You got me into the band. You've never seen him. I've never seen him. Let's go, man.
Have an experience.
Exactly. And then he kind of backed out. And he said, I'll still pay for the ticket, though, you know, since you went to the trouble. And I'm like, well, I got this extra ticket, you know. And I talked to Rob, and he goes, yeah, I would. I'm not calling off for that. Because he was on seconds.
Yeah.
You know, he goes, and he's like, and he goes, I'm not sure if I would really want to go see him. He goes, I like him, but I don't know if I really want to go. I'm like, crap. So then I'm like, well, fuck. What about Nate? Maybe he'd want to go. And I got 2 tickets, and maybe Sarah could go too. And I'm like, hey, dude, I got these tickets, and they're free. Just pay for our gas up there.
Sold.
And then, so yeah, we went to go see, and that was Matt Barlow. He was the 3rd lead singer of Iced Earth. And then he left after 10 years, and then he came back for a stint. And that was his first show back. That was the first time that I saw them. I saw them again in 10 with Barlow on the Escape the Studio tour. And then I saw them again in 2012 with now Stu, after Matt retired, Stu Block. is the he's not new lead singer anymore.
No, because he's been there since Dystopia.
He has
that was his first album.
He joined in 2011, and now it's 2018. So he's going on like
nearing 10 years.
He is the second longest running
behind Barlow.
Singer. Yeah, and I he's fucking fantastic. But I one thing that like really hyped me up is that when they released the first single.
Seven Head Door?
I think that was it. And I was like, holy crap.
You sent it to me.
I sent it to you. I sent it to Blaine. I sent it to Joe. I sent it to everybody. I'm like, dudes, this is...
Bro,
this is on another level, bro. Now, look, I mean, and it was. Because it's like, Iced Earth is this awesome... not a lot of people know about them. But in a way, they're just like... I've said this so many times. I said this just today. You take Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Metallica, and they had a baby, and then you put a Kiss shirt on them.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, they're not Kiss, but they're fans of Kiss. So there's this enough showmanship there. There's enough of the storytelling,
and it's subtle. They do it brilliantly.
Mm-hmm. But like you get the Iron Maiden guitars, the gallops, all that. You get the Metallica thrashiness. You get the Judas Priest power metal,
the fucking vocals,
the falsettos and all that stuff. So it's like it's this perfect amalgamation of sounds. And the band is not big. And this is kind of saying what John said to us, and it's true. From day one, they've gone and they've grown by word of mouth, by going here, playing a kick-ass show. The people who went to that show go tell their friends, and then the next time they come, they bring more people.
You brought your friends.
Exactly.
We're gonna get into that because you actually asked me.
I did.
If I wanted to go again, like 10 years later, like kind of celebrating the anniversary.
Well, because I love the album. I love the new one that came out. And I'm like, I'm not missing them this time. I love this album. They're going to be playing songs from this album. We've got to go.
Didn't we talk about it on a podcast a little bit? Didn't you and I like review the new Iced Earth? Was that during the Metalcast? Would that have been around the time?
It might have been. Because I want to say the album came out like a month prior to that. But... what it was, though, is that I definitely wanted to go, and I was so certain. I'm like, well, I'm going to be going to Chicago because they always play Chicago. And I'm like, well, if I want to be in Chicago, I'll just hit Nate up, and if it's late, I'll just crash at his place before I come back.
Bingo.
And if he wants to go, dude, I'll like whatever. So, yeah, I totally asked you, and then I remember, like, you had said yes. But, like, the first time you heard anything off the new album, other than what I sent you, was in the car with me one day.
Yeah.
After a doctor's appointment that I went to, that you came down here to do some podcast stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we were jamming on it, and you were digging it.
Yes. The album immediately spoke to me. Like, I got it. And here's an interesting thing. And John talked about that, the VIP, and again, we'll get into that later, about the... Incorruptible not having a theme. Mm-hmm. It makes that album because they can play with multiple themes and tell multiple stories and hook me in all these different ways. And you go from songs like Black Flag to The Veil to Raven Wing to fucking Seven Headed Whore, which is a banger of a song. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's thrash incarnate. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get it. Great Heathen Army is an amazing opener for them. I mean, like, there's so many things to talk about from that album specifically that I was like, fuck, these guys are just, they've got it. Like, they've found their mojo with Stu. They're firing on all cylinders. They've got new guys, you told me, which I didn't know that at the time. And being an Iced Earth fan, I felt kind of shamed that I didn't know that all these changes had happened. But, it was just like, I enjoyed Plagues, but it was like you. I didn't connect with it as much. There's maybe 3 or 4 songs that really give it to me. Like, it pushed me to the next level of like, fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And Dystopia is not the same. I think Dystopia for me was more like a, wow, this new talent they've found is showing off, and here's all the things you can do.
Dystopia is honestly in my top 3 albums.
Really?
Yeah. To me, the 3, and it's hard to put them in any order, but it's the Dark Saga I'll just go in chronological. The Dark Saga is Something Wicked, This Way It Comes, and then it is Dystopia. And now Incorruptibles it's up there, but then it also has to contend with Horror Show, which is an amazing record.
Oh,
so it's like at that point now you're just like saying like now you're arguing with yourself too much.
Apples to oranges.
Exactly.
Man. They're all great.
And see, and it's quite easily put that Horror Show was in Dystopia's spot.
From the suburbs of Chicago and Illinois, this is The Paul Report with your host, Andrew Poor.
This is also from Cameron Kasky, the junior who I talked about in the previous article. He said, Senator Rubio, can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA? Rubio's response did not appear to satisfy the audience. These positions I hold on the Second Amendment I've held since the day I entered office in the city of West Miami as an elected official. He said, adding, people buy into my agenda. So it's kind of more information than what the other article shared about the NRA buying into his agenda, not the other way around. The Florida senator also said that it's not the NRA's money that has a large impact on gun policy. The influence of these groups come not from money. The influence comes from the millions of people that agree with the agenda, the millions of Americans that support the NRA. When Senator Nelson was asked by Junior Samantha Grady, who was shot twice at the school last week, what he would do to strengthen background checks, he said there are so many other things that can be done, but that when you get right down to it, the gun is what is going to do the killing. Nelson added, I've always had guns. I've hunted all of my life. I still hunt with my son, but an AK-47 and an AR-15 is not for hunting, it's for killing. Deutsch furthered Nelson's sentiment, challenging Rubio, who said there were too many loopholes in assault weapons bans. He said, if there is a problem with the assault weapons ban, if there was a problem with the way that was written, if there were too many loopholes for people trying to get around it to utilize, then let's bring up the assault rifle ban and close all the loopholes so we have a bill that keeps people safe. National Rifle Association spokeswoman Dana Loesch offered the organization's response to the massacre. When asked by Emma Gonzalez, a senior at Major Stoneman Douglas, if it should be harder for people to obtain semi-automatic weapons, Loesch focused on the mental state of those purchasing firearms. Speaking about the gunman, Loesch said, I don't believe that this insane monster should have ever been able to obtain a firearm, ever. Loesch said that she spoke for herself and the millions of members of the NRA in saying that none of us support people who are crazy, who are in danger to themselves, who are in danger to others getting their hands on a firearm. The NRA does believe that there is a need to strengthen background checks and for state and federal law enforcement to follow up on red flags, such as social media postings, as a form of prevention. Loesch also took aim at what she sees as flaws in the National Instant Criminal Background Check system, citing the fact that states are not federally mandated to report convictions to the system. The spokeswoman argued that last week's shootings, as well as one last November in Sutherland Springs, Texas, could have been prevented by more thorough reporting to the database. In Sutherland Springs, the gunman killed 26 was able to purchase firearms because the Air Force failed to submit his convictions on domestic abuse charges while enlisted. Students, teachers, and parents of victims asked Loesch about the actions the NRA is taking to prevent more school shootings. Loesch noted that the NRA supports banning bump stocks and promotes safety in schools with its National School Shield program that focuses on improving school security and effort that help prevent national tragedies at educational institutions in America. It's up to the school and the parents of those schools if they choose to use those resources and use those suggestions. If schools want to have armed guards, if they want to have retired military, if they choose and teachers volunteer to be armed, that's up to each individual school. But if they also want a solution that doesn't involve firearms, if they want to talk about checkpoint systems, they want to talk about reinforcing doors, the NRA, our resources are at their disposal, she said. Loesch was joined on stage by Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel, who responded to President Trump's comments in which he supported arming teachers with firearms, said, I don't believe teachers should be armed, I believe teachers should teach, but that's exactly what's wrong with this country. When asked about raising the age limit for purchasing firearms, Loesch defends the NRA's position. And one thing they talked about here was arming teachers, which I'm personally against. I think it's opening the door for other problems. If a SWAT team or other police or military enter and they see a person with a gun, they're probably going to shoot first and ask questions later. They don't know that it's necessarily a teacher unless they have a book in their hand with all the pictures that have guns. It's creating more problems. And I think if you're having a teacher use a gun to protect her classroom and then shooting her for having a gun and looking suspicious, and then just creating more problems than solutions. That's my personal opinion, and everyone else is welcome to theirs. So regarding the arming teachers, President Donald Trump suggested Wednesday during a listening session with the survivors and family members of school shootings that arming teachers could be one solution to stopping tragedy. An attack has lasted on average about 3 minutes. It takes 5 to 8 minutes for police to come in. If you had a teacher who is adept at firearms, they could very well end the attack very quickly. Trump said at the event, flanked by 2 teenage girls who survived the school shooting last week in Parkland, Florida. The good thing about that, you will have a lot of people that would be armed, that would be ready. Trump also expressed a desire to strengthen background checks and is reportedly considering raising the age limit to buy certain types of guns. Trump also announced on Tuesday that he was signing a memorandum directing Attorney General Jeff Sessions to implement regulations banning bump stocks, modifications that increase the rate of fire for semi-automatic rifles. 6 students who survived last week's shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, attended the event accompanied by their parents and Christine Hunchofsky, the mayor of Parkland. 2 parents who lost their first-grade children during the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary in 2012 and founded a gun violence prevention group, Nicole Hockley and Mark Barden, were in attendance. So were students, teachers, and parents from 3 local Washington, D.C. schools, Thurgood Marshall Academy, Friendship Public Charter School, and Parkmont, some of which recounted their own losses and experiences with gun violence. We want to learn everything we can learn, and starting about 2 minutes after this meeting, we're going to work. Trump told those in attendance, "You're gone through extraordinary pain, and we don't want others to go through this kind of pain you've gone through. It wouldn't be right." White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders told reporters on Tuesday that the president would be discussing a wide range of issues with those attending the session. One of the things that the president wants to do is make sure that he sits down with a number of people from across all fronts, she said. They want to make sure that we're meeting and talking with as many people that not only are affected, but that play in this process as possible. Trump asked those in attendance what they thought about his suggestion to arm teachers. Some, like Hunter Pollock, whose 18-year-old sister Meadow was killed in the Parkland shooting last week, concurred with Trump's dissent. He said having more armed people on campus could have saved his sister's life. But others explicitly disagreed. Rather than arm them with a firearm, I would rather arm them with the knowledge of how to prevent these acts from happening in the first place, said Hockley. Barden, whose wife is a school teacher and could not attend the session, told Trump. Her experiences showed why he was wrong. She has spent more than a decade in the Bronx. She will tell you that school teachers have spent more than enough responsibility then to have the awesome responsibility of lethal force to take a life. He said, as the room filled with a smattering of applause. Nobody wants to see a shootout in a school and a deranged sociopath on his way to commit an act of murder in a school. Knowing the outcome is going to be suicide is not going to care if there is someone there with a gun. That's their plan anyway. And kind of going further into this article, or a separate article about the same topic, Fix-It and anguished father Andrew Pollock told Trump as he stood and told the story of the murder of his daughter Meadow. It should have been one school shooting and we should have fixed it. I'm pissed. You don't want to be me. No parent does, said Nicole Hockley, whose 6-year-old son was murdered in the 2012 shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary. You have the ability to save lives today. Please don't waste this. She was seated next to Sam Zeef, whose text messages with his 14-year-old brother, who was also the Florida school during the shooting, went viral online. On Wednesday, Zeef spoke through tears, saying he did not understand why it's so easy to buy an AR-15, the kind of gun used in the Parkland shooting, and many others over the past few years. How is it that easy to buy this type of weapon? How have we not stopped this after Columbine, after Sandy Hook? We need to do something, said Zeef, whose best friend was murdered. I'm here to use my voice because I know he can't. Another parent, Carrie Gruber, recounted his son's text to him as the shooter attacked Stoneman Douglas last week, saying, "If something happens, I love you." Gruber called for raising the age for gun purchases. If he's not old enough to buy a drink, he should not be able to buy a gun at 18 years old. That's just common sense. Trump told the group he would do something about this horrible situation that's going on in America, and that he hoped to figure it out together with those students, teachers, and parents gathered at the White House. We don't want others to go through this kind of pain that you've gone through, Trump said. A memorial for Meadow Pollock, one of the victims of the shooting in a park in Parkland, Florida, on Friday. Sorry, that's not really tied to the article. Trump spoke about potential solutions to address the violences, expressing support for arming school officials and teachers and backing ending gun-free zone, which he said are assigned to shooters that let's go in and let's attack because bullets aren't coming back at us. The president concealed conceded that concealed carry only works with people who are very adept at using firearms, but said that if one of the brave coaches in Parkland who tried to stop the shooter had a gun, he could have shot the shooter instead of running at him.
Red meat, we crave sustenance.
Guys, we are not invading my aunt.
So we were talking about what we wanted to eat for lunch today when originally everybody was, we were planning on still having the podcast all together and whatnot. But we were talking about having tacos, like El Guero's tacos, which we talked about on the last time everybody was here. And we were thinking it would be funny play on names like Guillermo del Taco or El Guero's del Toro,
Yeah.
Because we watched The Shape of Water today, finally, for the first time.
Whoa.
Wow, that was a really good movie. Let's just start there.
Sure.
First, I guess I'll preface by saying we didn't end up having tacos. We ended up having Euros.
Yeah.
Another place that we really like that actually delivers to us.
Guillermo.
How are you going to say it?
Guillermo.
Euro.
I'll figure it out. I said it earlier.
Yeah, the taco one worked better.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo.
Greek tacos. We had Greek tacos today.
Yeah, pretty much. We did have Greek tacos today. It was
the stuffed pepper in Hammond, Indiana. Pretty good.
crazy shout out to that place. It was so flavorful and tasty,
And the
and
fries were actually crispy, and they were delivered, and that's a rare feat in these here parts.
they didn't forget the pop.
True, and we got
Amazingly.
plenty of extra feta, which is important.
It was my first time, I think, actually having stuffed pepper. Usually, you guys order that carry out when I'm not home.
Yeah,
So-
because we never feel like driving. You're like our chauffeur.
Of
when We're
course.
all up here.
Well, I mean, that's just how it goes. I like driving you guys around. So, we decided to go with the Euros today, and you've had them before from there, right? Mm-hmm. So you kind
They're
of
consistently good.
You have a learned opinion. What do you think of the of the Euros from the stuffed pepper?
I like them. I think they're pretty good. The pitas are always like warm and toasty. I love how they put everything together in their little carry-out boxes. Everything's neat and tidy and orderly, which I appreciate because I'm a freak. And the one thing that I would change is I'm not a big red pepper fan or red onion fan, just because it gives me heartburn. I mean, I like the flavor, I like the spiciness, I like the crunch, but I get like mad heartburn.
The after effect is just like, oh,
Yeah,
God,
if I was
come
gonna
on.
put onions on my ears, I'd want them to be like Vidalia onions.
Oh, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, but they'd have to be raw.
I'd love to go that route. We had the fries, and there was some hummus, and
Ooh, and the seasoned fries were so good and crispy.
then we put that. Have we talked about the Frank's Red Hot sauce on the show yet?
I don't know. I can't remember. I have a terrible memory.
So
we've established that.
The honey sriracha, or not?
No,
it's not honey sriracha.
it's garlic.
It's honey garlic hot sauce.
I'll get it out of the fridge.
You get it. You get it out of the fridge. I'll keep discussing. So, anyways, we use this sauce on like everything. It's the most multi-purpose. It is the blood type O of hot sauces because it goes with everything. Stinging honey garlic's hot sauce from Red Hot.
Oh my God, it'll change your life.
And we've
Put
only
that shit on everything.
We've only had this bottle, I want to say 2.5 weeks, and we're halfway through it.
Yeah.
So it literally goes with everything. Chicken,
Yeah.
it
The
goes
chicken
with it.
was really good.
Rice goes with it.
We dipped our French fries in it today.
French fries were delicious.
It has like it could be like Asian. It could be it could be anything. It's the perfect condiment.
It really is. And we also
Well
have
done.
another sauce by these guys we haven't cracked open yet, which is the sweet and sour hot sauce.
Oh yeah, I haven't tried that one yet.
No, we haven't at all. It's still locked up with the seal on it. I've kind of been in the mode lately when I go to the store, and I don't know if this is something you do, but when I go to the grocery store, especially with how much I'm like into hot sauce now, if I see something that's cheap or something I know I'm going to like or something that was maybe featured on Hot Ones, I go and I get it because usually hot sauces are like $1.50.
Yeah.
Like until you get to the really crazy specialty brand of hot sauce that are trying to murder your insides.
It's like a niche market. And let's talk about that for a second because I had a horrible fucking experience with hot sauce last weekend.
Please recount the story.
I did this for you all so you could all hear about how horrible it was.
You were a fucking champ.
Yeah.
So I
No
guess
hesitation. I just did it.
I guess I should kind of start the story and lead up to the part of the story where you jumped in and got crazy.
I didn't get crazy, but you can tell the
You
story.
did jump in and get crazy. I was not expecting that. That was like,
and I'll never fucking do it again.
if there
How about
were,
that?
if there, no, it was a good thing. I'm just saying it was like it was if I could give a letter better than A for effort, like, you know, I don't know if you've played like a lot of Capcom games. When you do perfect, you get an S, not an A.
Does it look like I played a lot of Capcom games?
Yes, actually, busted. You do because you have like Street Fighter and
Called
stuff.
out.
You know, yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
all right.
So, anyways, we were down in Brando's neck of the woods to see Black Panther. We had the network meeting and all these things were going on. You and Sarah and I decided we were going to grab some food before we went and saw Black Panther.
Which was excellent, by the way.
The movie or the food?
The movie.
Both.
The food was good, but I couldn't taste it after what happened.
Okay, we're getting there. So we both ordered a split beer cheese pub sub sandwich thing.
Yeah, it was steak and beer cheese.
Firehouse
and,
sub.
like onions and shit.
Yeah.
Ooh, it was good.
It was really good.
It needed to be on a pretzel bun, though, Firehouse subs, just saying.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that would be the one way to level up that sandwich.
Right.
Because it was close. It was almost like the perfect sandwich.
It was
but
almost
the bun
there.
was a little bit soggier than I think I would have liked it.
Right, because there was so much freaking sauce on it.
And
It needs a heavier,
the meat is really
heavier bun.
heavy and
Pretzel bun all the way.
Exactly. So we're sitting there eating, and I was probably maybe 3 or 4 bites, 3/4 of the way done with my sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, because I take big bites.
Yes, you do.
And I looked over, and the cool thing about when you go to Firehouse Subs is they have a counter of hot sauce.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, come try these hot sauces.
That's
and,
nice.
And they don't just
you
like
have a select variety
and
of
they
hot
don't,
sauce.
and they don't blind bag you, right? They actually number them so you can know how fucked up you're about to get.
Right.
And it's like 1 to 10. So I always when we go to Firehouse, I always look for the 10s, and I try
I thought you were
whatever.
going to make a Spinal Tap joke and say 11.
Oh, well, you know, they don't have an 11, but I really wish they did. But they probably would have to, like, make people sign waivers at that point. And they get their limit of hot sauce, which maybe they peaked their limit with what happened. But anyways, so I look over and I see a 10, and I'm like, oh, I have to try this 10. And I run over, and I don't remember what the sauce was. It was just some new hot sauce I'd not even ever heard of. Hold on. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to try this. And as I'm looking at this bottle of hot sauce, my eye catches another 10. But I immediately know the hot sauce and desperately need to have it in my life because it's the second hottest sauce on Hot Ones. It's my favorite Mad Dog 357. I have had the Mad Dog 357 Silver Label, which is 750,000 Scoville units. This hot sauce is 357,000 Scoville units. That's why it's Mad Dog 357, right?
Correct.
So I, of course, bring it over, and I was like, oh, my God, you guys, you'll never believe what I found here.
In the wild.
In the wild. Here's Mad Dog 357.
And this is from
What's
Hot
up?
Ones, First We Feast show that we like to watch.
Yeah,
about
on
hot
YouTube.
wings. Yeah.
Which actually featured, interestingly enough, here's a weird correlation.
Oh, yeah,
Michael B. Jordan was
yeah.
the guest on this past episode last week. Of course, there'll be a
Check
new
it out on
episode
YouTube. It's pretty funny.
every Thursday. Absolutely. So we go and we
You get the 357.
I picked the Mad Dog 357, and I just put like a decent dab on my plate thing, whatever foil, whatever the fuck parchment paper thing it was.
Your plate.
And I dip my sandwich, and I go for it. And there's still a sizable amount of sauce. And you just dipped with no hesitation.
That was stupid.
Wow. I was so impressed. Like, legitimately, I was like, holy shit, she does not realize what she got into. Because I was already deep in it at that point. And I was like, oh, she's not about to have a fun time.
No, and I didn't. I did it because I wasn't thinking. I was just like, Mad Dog 357. I watch Hot Ones. I'm just going to fucking try it. And I did. And I was like, okay, that was really stupid.
You
Like-
did the Eddie Chung thing.
Well, I
You
knew that
didn't-
it was going to be hot and that it was going to be horrible, but no fear.
You didn't respect the sauce.
No. Well,
Now you do. That
I don't respect that sauce. It's not fucking food. It's not real food. I don't respect that sauce. It's not. No, it was horrible. It burnt the whole side of my tongue. So, like, I guess I should preface by saying, because I'm an idiot, you know, I bit my tongue a lot while I sleep. And like, my tongue was kind of hurting anyway. And then it just lit it on fire, you know? from where I,
amplifies the
like, bit
pain,
it.
and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, and then I couldn't taste the rest of my food, and it was still hurting by the time we got to the movie theater, like 20 minutes later, half hour later. And, yeah, I I didn't like it, and I won't do it again.
I loved it. I thought the flavor was great.
There was no flavor.
There was
it was
flavor.
just
It smelled really good,
immediate
too.
stink. That was the thing. Like, I smelled it because you were like, are you sure you want to do that? Because I, like, just dunked my fucking sandwich in it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. It's no big deal. It smells good. And then I did it, and I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I started sweating. I started, like, hating myself. And I was like, borderline starting to panic because I was thinking that it wasn't ever going to end. And the pop wasn't helping. My bready ass sandwich wasn't helping.
Yeah, you can't escape the sauce
Woo.
once it's in there. And
No,
the crazy
it
thing
was in
is,
there good.
You have
You
to
got
think
me.
though. You have to like. I have to give props to you because that is a legit fucking hot sauce.
We're gonna fuck the sodomites in the...
I would get bored, and I'm not saying like I'm super attractive, but like I got to a point where I had like the most matches I ever had were like I think like 60 something at one time, and I would just go through and I'd look at their profile and say something fucking random to them, like this girl for instance. It's not even like anything super even funny or original. It was just something stupid. Like this girl, I just was fucking like, oh hi Mark. And then she replied with, what? And I'm like, oh, it's just a movie reference. And then we started talking, and that was cool. And then...
There's one specific one that we started this conversation to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And she's extra thickness. Like 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, onion, pickles on a sesame seed bun.
Mm-hmm. Actually, funny enough, I did super like this girl, but she messaged me first.
Well, tell us about it.
Mm-hmm. Basically, I was just chilling in my apartment.
Down in the hood?
Down in the hood. Actually, funny enough, I've kind of, like, kind of similar, like, part of this, but not part of this. I started talking to this girl, right? But before that, there was another girl that I was, like, talking to that, like, I was gonna start hanging out with her. But I matched with this girl and talked with this girl a lot, and I kind of ghosted that girl.
And I told you that it was stupid to drive a long way.
No, not her.
This is even after that.
Yeah, this was... Did I show you the girl with, like, the funny nose? No. Here, I got you.
But go on about the one that you ghosted the other one for.
I didn't really ghost her. Like we were just. I talked to her. Like I honestly talked to her. I was.
All right, you pseudo ghosted her. Let's hear about this new girl.
Oh, new girl. I super liked her. She replied. She was like hi, and she sent a smiley face. So I was talking to her.
Emojis is like instant.
Yeah,
you're in.
She wants it. She sends an emoji. She's put it out.
You gonna take that dick? You gonna take it? You gonna get all that dick?
Yeah. She said hi. And
Terrible movie.
She said hi, but I have like I don't have notifications from Snapchat, so I opened it up, and I opened it up the day after Valentine's Day, and I replied with, "Oh shit, happy late Valentine's Day." And then, yeah, we just started talking about random shit. A greatest idea for a first date, invite them and be like, hey, you want to go to Goodwill with me? Right? I've never been denied a Goodwill date. Fact.
My very first Tinder date was on Valentine's Day.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. We went to IHOP. Which I just happened to... I was living at the Doom Room at the time, which is not even 2 minutes away from IHOP, so...
Right.
It was very convenient. Fun fact about my life.
Basically, we were just talking and, like, random stuff, like, oh, like, I told her, like, hey, we could hang out sometime and fucking go to Cold Stone and get ice cream and something stupid like that, and then we could go to Goodwill and hang out. And she was like, that's a good idea. And she was like, so,
Does she have lockjaw?
I don't know.
Did she get tetanus?
Yeah, she got stabbed with a rusty nail, and now she can't talk. That's why she's stooping to my level.
Alright, fair enough.
But, yeah, she was pretty chill, and we were just talking, and she asked me, like, what town I live in. I'm like, oh, I live in Lafayette, but I used to live in, Burlington, if she's ever been there. And she's like, oh, yeah, I know where you're at. She's like, I live in Frankfurt. And I was like, oh, I go to Frankfurt all the time, because, like, I was like, I even go to this, like, one little restaurant called Milky Way, which is a cool place to hang out sometimes and eat food after you get fucking gourded. And, yeah, so that was cool. And then, I was like, so you got a Snapchat? Because I always say, hey, you got a Snapchat, because talking on Tinder kind of sucks ass.
Yes.
And, so she was like, sure, add me. So I added her, and, like, we just talked normally for a few days. And it was... Wait.
Bueller?
Okay, never mind. Basically, yeah, we got Tinder, we were talking about random things. I showed her, like, she likes art and stuff, so I showed her, like, some of my, some of the shit I made in ceramics, and she thought that was really cool, and she showed me some stuff. We just talked normally, like, I was like, oh, she's hot, but I really don't have much intention to meet up with her. But then there's a fateful night that I decided to hang out. Oh, I decided to hang out with Nate. Thank you. And I was just hanging out with him, getting a little drunk.
Was this last Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was getting crunk.
Is this when you tried to deadlift a car?
I never actually tried to deadlift a car.
He was getting turned.
Okay, so today I asked him if he wanted to be on the show today. He's like, I don't know, my back hurts.
It still fucking hurts.
I'm like, what the I was like, it's okay, I'll get you a real chair this time.
Yeah.
And then he called it. He's like, what, a wooden chair from the fucking kitchen? I'm like, yes, exactly, actually. I was like, what the fuck did you try to do? Deadlift a car, like, with improper form?
And I just fucking leaned over, like... leg straight, fucking back bent over. But yeah, I went to Nate's house. I had a lot of fun. Played some beer pong. Talked to some random people. Mostly just try and drink as much alcohol as I can. And yeah, eventually it got to the point where, for some reason, there's like a little crawl space, like underneath near. Like, he has a basement, but then there's a crawl space attached to it. And for some reason, I was obsessed with like living in there, like a hobbit or something. I don't know why, but looking back on it makes me laugh. Basically, I got really drunk, and I went home, and I was talking to this girl normally, and I'm still scrolling up because for some reason she saved all of our chat so far.
She wanted to use it again.
I'm still. Oh wait, this is where it's starting. Yep.
Are you gonna read the whole thing?
Maybe.
We don't have time for that.
Aw.
I'm putting my foot down. We're past the 2-hour mark.
Okay. Basically, I was like...
You can read some of it.
Okay, we were talking about meeting, and for some reason I was kind of feeling horny, so I was like...
Show me your carrots!
No, I was like...
Are you Randy?
Oh, you Randy.
And I said... I still am scrolling up. What the fuck? This is...
Drunk happens.
No, this isn't even drunk. Like, this is us talking for the past week. For some reason, she saved all of it.
She shaved?
She did shave.
I'm glad. Happy for you.
And it ended up like... we were starting to flirt around and shit, and it started as like, oh, the things I want to do to you. That's what I said.
The things.
Yeah, and then
all the things
that they
it kind of sounds weird out of context, but there was good context to it. But
there was good context.
But she was like, "Oh, elaborate."
Possible alternative title. Good context.
She oh no! God fucking damn it! Never mind. I'm not.
Rage.
I can't read it because I scrolled all the way to the top of our conversation finally, and then I accidentally swiped left and exited the chat. So when I went back in, I was all the way back at the bottom. So it's pointless now. Basically,
God, you're a piece of shit.
I know. I am a piece of shit, and I'm mad now, and I can't talk like a normal functioning human either. Basically, like, I was like, oh shit, I'm really horny, and I just want to say the nastiest, most vulgar fucking 50 Shades of Grey shit. So I was talking about, like,
let's hear this.
Yeah, I think it started off as,
I want to shove my entire head in your vagina.
No, it started off like
shoulder deep.
Shoulder deep is pretty intense.
I want to shit in your ass.
Good luck.
All right, so I got some records here, and the last episode was titled "Vinyl Addicts Podcast" because of how long I tangented about collecting vinyl, and it kind of dawned on me that I'm kind of stealing the Metal Jesus's gimmick because he makes videos about collecting video games, and then he also does the rare video like him collecting vinyl.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely doing some gimmick infringement here, but it's cool because I'm getting into
Metal Jesus.
Yeah. I'll be the Metal Judas. How about that? Okay, so Iced Earth to me is like, I disagree with you on the fact on their heaviness because they remind me much more of like a balanced like Metallica type thing because they like
all the songs I've heard from them have been pretty heavy.
Like, okay, so first two songs are pretty heavy. Raven Wing is more of a balladish. The Veil is this weird ballad, and then it's all kind of straight up. Like Seven Headed Horror is the heaviest song on here.
Yeah.
On this album for the Incorruptible record for Iced Earth. And that song will remind you of like Slayer and Testament. But that's also Seven Headed Horror is like one of the heaviest songs Iced Earth's ever written.
Really?
Yes. Anyway, so I got this. Now, if anybody listens to Journey into Comics over there on the Journey into Comics network, you'll know that this week's episode is called Iced Earth and the Uberman.
Yeah.
And me and Nate, for the last half of that episode, just gush on our trip down to Indy, and we went and saw Iced Earth, one of my favorite bands besides Metallica.
Right.
Like those, like when I was going through my musical journey, I hung my head on Metallica and said, "This is my band." I got into some other bands, Metallica, then I went to Megadeth, and then Pantera, and then some Maiden. I love all those bands, but as far as like my band, this was the next one that was my band.
Yeah.
That these guys spoke to me in the ways that, other people didn't. And so one thing I did get is the collectible art book for Incorruptible, and it's a 2 10-inch vinyl set. If I can try and get this out. Because it's an art book first.
Yes.
But this is the limited see-through transparent orange, which matches the flame color scheme, which I love.
It looks fantastic.
Oh, it looks beautiful. And so this comes with the 2 10-inch. The album's on, obviously on the 2. It also comes with the CD. So if you don't own this, it's a great way to get that as well. But then it's like...
But more than likely you're not going to buy this because this is a limited run of 200 only.
Well, okay, so for the orange one, it's 200. They have a red one, and they have a gold one.
Oh, okay.
And you could get those in other places online. It's still pretty limited because I want to say that as far as the art book in itself, only 3,000 in the world exist. But for the orange one, only 200.
Right.
And I wanted the orange because
the
color scheme.
Yeah.
And
the artwork on this is absolutely gorgeous.
I fucking love the artwork for this album. I love the cover with their mascot set kind of getting It's like their version of getting burned at the stake.
Yes.
And he has that evil grin. They got an artist. I want to say John, the main guy of the band, called him Tattoo Dave.
Tattoo Dave.
And he did all the artwork. And of course, you have some interliner notes, but then you also get these great big full page,
which is
views
amazing,
of the artwork. And for each song has its own piece of art,
right?
And definitely some of these like the one I just showed on camera, if you could see it, is like a Viking dude.
Yeah.
And that could be the album cover.
Is that the one where he's decapitating?
Yeah, he's fucking swinging the axe.
Yeah.
That could be the album cover.
It's badass.
Easy,
It's amazing.
So I got this. This was expensive, but I actually saved my money from taxes, from what I had left specifically to get this and a shirt.
Yes.
So I went down there with money in my pocket, and I went down there and I said, "I want this." He goes, "That'll be $75." I'm like, "You can have anything but my firstborn." And he's like, "Right on. Anything else?" I'm like, "I think I'm gonna get a shirt, but I don't know which one." And I decided on the Viking one, which is that song is called "Great Heathen Army."
Right.
That's the shirt. And then a little bit later on, after the show was over, I kind of decided I wanted another one, and I picked up just a regular album art tour shirt, because I haven't actually got a tour shirt from the band since the first time I saw them.
Huh.
Because when I got the VIP the other 2 times, you got exclusive VIP T-shirts for each one. And since both me and Kate went, I got two T-shirts each time.
Right.
And she'll wear them every once in a while, but it's like if I have 2 copies of the same shirt, so
right.
But now it's like I got the Heathen Army shirt, and I'm like, I kind of want a tour date shirt. I know everybody gets that, but it's like I love the album, I love the cover art, and this is what it is. And also I love the fact that the logo is kind of just faded out. My very first Eister shirt from 2004 is naturally faded everywhere. And you know how the art starts flaking off and printing?
Yeah.
Dude, that didn't do that at all, and it just slowly faded and melted into the black. So the black just kind of comes out a little bit. It's the most beautiful faded shirt I've ever owned, man. But it's got holes, and it's time to retire. So if you want to hear the full story of our experience at the Eister show, great experience. It's probably one of my best concert-going experiences of my life. Definitely go check out the Journey into Comics episode, because we spent an hour gushing about it, and we are so tired.
Yeah.
We got done recording the episode at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't get to bed till after 5 this morning. But
that's when you're normally heading to work.
I know. And you know what? Some of the guys that went with us, or which met us there, they were getting up for work, and I talked to Joe.
Yeah, he told me.
A little bit. And he's like, But here's the pic. It's not going to show up on camera. I'll take a picture of it and put it on our Instagram, Game Addicts Play. But there's a whole story about how I got the pic. So I got this album out just around lunchtime, put it on my player. I got it set up, and it doesn't work right on my player.
Because you do not have the proper player.
Maybe, maybe not. I gotta look into it. Okay, I gotta really do my homework. I didn't have time today.
Right.
Okay. Because I had to come into town. Of course, we're doing our show, and I was a little bit pressed. I tried a few things, and it didn't work, and it just played it too fast. I have my player has 2 settings, 45 and 33. Those are the main settings. It says whenever you get an album, it'll say on it 33 and a third RPM. So that's what it needs to be set at.
Right.
These right here are at 45.
Right.
Okay. So I set it on there, 33, and it was just too fast. 45 was way too slow.
Huh.
And so 33, and I tried a few things to move it around. My player only has a 12-inch and a 7-inch. This is a 10-inch, so I got to manually move the needle, which is fine. But it wasn't playing right. Maybe I'll work on it. Maybe I'll get it figured out. But my goal was always to get the regular black version of this album, so that way this one could stay a collector's item.
Right.
I was thinking maybe I'll play it a few times and then just put it up, and I'll get the black one.
That one's heard on camera.
That one might have got picked up by the mics, but I figured,
This is bothering me.
Oh, the hair. You didn't get it. Try again. There you go. Yeah, so I was gonna get it eventually. I was just gonna kind of sleep on it and pick it up whenever because the album's still pretty new. You know, I just recently picked up the last album before this one, and I had zero problem finding it.
Right.
So I was like, I got a couple years yet.
Right.
But when it didn't play right, I'm like, I guess I'll go buy it. So that's what I did. I went to the record store before I got here today, and I picked up the regular version of the album. You know, I have no qualms. I want to go. I want to go home tonight, and I want to throw this on, and I want to hear what this sounds like on vinyl. Because the album's great. I've jammed this album. I know all the fucking words to nearly every song. It's great. This is probably, man, it's hard to rate. It's hard to rate albums for bands that you just love the catalog.
Yes. I end up rating songs.
There's that.
Usually how I do
This album has 6 songs on here that are definite plays for me every time I listen to it. There are 3 songs in the middle that I could probably skip depending on the mood.
Right.
But the whole first side A, and then 2 songs on side B, and then side C. Is it? Wait. There's no side D on this.
Does it have all the songs?
Yeah.
Because it's a larger vinyl.
It is, but see, now I want to open this and figure out what the hell's on.
Open it because I'm going to pull Mike.
Mike's got to go pee. So yeah, so Brando's going to open up this vinyl, and it's. What are you doing?
I tried to push them.
Did you step on it?
I didn't. I did not step on it. I tried to push them, and it made a noise that scared me.
Do you have a knife?
Of course I do. There is knives in every corner of this house.
Thank you, sir. So yeah, I'm definitely going to open this up because I am just a little bit curious about what the hell is on that side D. You all right in there, pal? He made like a guttural grunt sound. Yeah, there's tape on this damn thing. That's why I need a knife. Somebody taped the plastic on here. It's still sealed. It still has the stickers on it and everything, but it's definitely taped, and that's why it's a little difficult to get off. I am so curious about why the songs are only on 3 sides. There's a longer song at the very end of the album, and I was for certain that just that one song was going to be on there. Holy crap, dude! You got ducks in here that I should know about? Usual. Knifey.
It just closes.
I tried to, and then I didn't want to hood it. Okay, so.
You know hood it.
Okay. So side D. Here we go. I'm going to pull this one out. Oh. All right, so. This came with an extra large book that has the artwork. Also,
same artwork?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I still love that.
Dude, that Viking artwork is
That
badass.
Viking artwork is badass. The undead Viking. I like the 7-headed whore.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's just the art. There's nothing else. All right.
Come here, buddy.
So now we got side C. Oh,
that's wicked. That is sweet.
So on side D, instead of the music,
it has artwork.
It has engraved into the vinyl the dude that's on the cover, Seth Abomine, their mascot. Whoa. I just got a nerd boner.
Anyway, he stumbled upon this couple who are really into anal. Like, he fists her with both arms.
Hold on. In the same?
In her butt. Both arms.
Both are
in her butt.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, like parting the Red Sea type. Yeah. And they have this dildo, which in and of itself is quite large. But then it has the ability to expand.
I love watching those, but I don't know if I want to see this one.
Brandon and I both were like, I never want any of this to happen to me.
I mean, what about diapers and stuff when you're older? Because I just feel like eventually
what?
Bad things are going to happen. If you can...
Oh, if you stretch out your butthole too much?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, where is she going with diapers? I'm not into that.
I'm not into that either, but that's where I feel like that's where that's leading to.
Well, I mean, they'll be able to keep on with the porn, I guess. Anyway, Brandon and I were both like, no, I don't want any of this to happen to me, but I'm strangely turned on by it. Yeah. I'll have to find it and show it to you. But when we were here the other day, that's what I was trying to tell you about and then completely forgot. So yeah, that's my not so funny, but still kind of amusing porn story.
Man, ta-da. I've seen so much porn like that. But I totally get the not wanting to do that, but being strangely turned on by it thing.
Right.
Like, you know how I'm terrified of water?
Do you like watching waterboarding?
No.
Oh, that seems like something you might enjoy.
I'm so offended. No.
No, you're not.
But yeah, I have this weird fear of drowning. Like, it's my number one thing. That's how I don't want to die, you know, is drowning.
Fuck drowning.
But I get so turned on by this. There's this one video that I found, and he just shoves her head underwater, and he's still fucking her from behind, and it really turned me on. But if someone did that to me, I'd probably fucking piss myself and have a panic attack, you know? Like, and then
don't kill me.
And then cry for days, and then go into a coma, come back, cry about it again, and never do it.
You go into a coma from crying? What happened? She went into a coma from crying. That's possible? We don't know. Tell us.
Well, anyway, that got really personal.
When do we not?
Right. Speaking of personal.
Yes.
I'm highly offended by my birthday present.
Because you hate Bambi?
I love Bambi. Okay. So anyway, it was my birthday recently.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks.
You're still not as old as me.
Well, you get older every year too, so it's never gonna happen. So, my dad decided that I needed one plate for my birthday. Just one.
Singular.
And before he presents it, he tells me, I remember as a kid you hated Bambi because the mother died, so I got you this plate. And it's a plate with a deer on it. Like, how shitty is that? Like, I don't understand where that was going.
Here's this movie that may or may not have been traumatizing for you. Have a memory of it.
Yeah. Like, I like that movie. I can handle it now, but as a kid...
I've still never seen it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. There's a surprisingly large number of movies I have not seen.
You know, I have the same problem. And, you know, I didn't start watching actual Disney movies until I was almost an adult. When I was a kid, I had the off-brand ones. The ones that were like, they're kind of Disney, but they're fucking not.
There was one on Netflix, and it was called Brave, and it was about a red-haired princess of some sort, but then it said in the description, not affiliated with Disney's Brave, or something like that. And I was like, You don't say.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously. But,
like,
oh, man.
Yeah, like Off-Brand Cinderella had brown hair, and it was the exact same fucking story, but just totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had on, VHS back in the day. I remember letting those go, and I wasn't sure if I was upset or happy about it.
I still have some of my, original VHS.
I have Stephen King's It on VHS still.
I've got, most of my Disney movies, because my mom saved them, and somehow they escaped the basement floods, because there were more than one, unscathed. I'm shocked. Yeah.
Wow.
Some other stuff might not have, but like all of my baby clothes.
Oh.
Yeah. My grandma, I guess, bought me a Baby Dior outfit, and it's like, because back in the 80s they still took pictures of you at the hospital. It's my hospital picture. I suppose into the 90s they did that, but they don't do it now.
Yeah.
They don't, because the babies don't really leave the mom all that much, so. And everything else is tagged or whatever. But yeah, so I was wearing a Baby Dior gown in my hospital picture, and I would have liked that for Wyatt, but I do not have it, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I have lots of other stuff.
That's true.
And that's fine.
Yeah, you can always tell them about it.
Yeah.
There was this picture that you can't see, but here's the story. And now you don't get to see this picture ever.
I could post it on Instagram. The picture. I have the picture.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. It's already scanned. Like, I scanned in a whole bunch of old photos, so.
Oh, that's smart.
It's already scanned. So yeah, I could post it on Instagram. Someone will have to remind me.
Okay. But we came up with a topic for today.
I know. For once, we actually planned something. But first, we have to take a quick break.
Sorry.
Okay. So this week we thought we would talk about we were going to do our top 5 best and possibly worst things to watch when you're high. And then neither of us did our homework. So now we're just going to talk about stuff that we like to watch when we're high. And we're going to tell you a little bit about why. So, would you like to go first? Your list is much longer than mine.
I have so many things.
Because I didn't do my list until 3 minutes ago.
That's true. My top 5 is actually a top 10. And then I have a nope 5, and it's 2.
Yay!
But the entire Evil Dead franchise.
Okay.
All of it. We already know that.
Yes.
But
we've done that one.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited. I'm really excited for season 3 that comes out on the 25th.
She's gonna binge it.
Yeah. That is a show that I will sit and I will not shower anything. I will watch it.
She's gonna be doing chainmail for 27 hours in a row.
Oh no, I'm gonna be glued to the screen. I'm going to be glued. And when we watched it that one girls' night.
Oh, yes.
I like the old one and the new one.
I don't think I've ever seen the old one all the way through, but I did really enjoy the new one. It was very good.
Yeah. Spoiler alert in the very beginning. Everyone knows. I think it's in the commercial. When his arm gets ripped off, it's just a million times funnier. I don't know why it's funny.
No, it was genuinely hilarious.
We went to go see it in theaters. And, everyone was pretty silent during that part, or maybe a gasp, and I'm just like, ha!
Yeah.
The worst.
I laughed when it came up on a screen. Pretty sure. Okay. So, my first one is Broad City, which, we're girls who smoke weed. Of course, we like to watch girls who smoke weed. Or at least I do. Joanna's not so gung-ho about Broad City. But I quite enjoy it. I'm pretty sure that Veronica from Foodies is who got me into the show. We were up there I think I was pregnant. And Brandon was recording, and we were doing some shopping for baby or something, and I watched Broad City and fell in love. But I did not have Hulu at the time, so I had to wait to actually continue watching it. And now I'm in love because thankfully Gretchen lets us mooch off of her Hulu account.
That I still haven't logged into.
I'm logged in on like my computer and probably my phone and the PlayStation
and
it's the only place I can watch Bob's Burgers and Broad City, and that's pretty much all I watch. So.
That's fair. I borrowed someone's login and I watched Vikings.
I really want to watch that.
So good.
Is it?
So good.
So good.
It's time for Brews with Dudes. Juicy. Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Brews with Dudes. I'm Nick Maxon, your host, sitting here once again with Dr. Dongo. How are you doing?
Oh, hi there.
Great. We also have Mr. Austin Hill with us again.
Hello, hello.
And Dave Linder.
What up?
Welcome back. How's your belly feel?
It's a little sore still.
Okay, good.
Someone.
Good.
Someone got slap happy on his belly.
Got a slappy boy.
That was I. I am Slappy Boy.
Oh, and I just found this on my elbow.
Oh, that's a nice little, nice little bruise you got there.
You're a bruisey boy over there.
Got some pit wounds.
We're going to be recounting some of our drunken tales from the other night. We went down to, we started at Jerry Lee's pre-gaming, and I mean, as per usual, I pre-gamed rather hard.
Yeah,
leading into the actual party where
pre-game harder than you party.
Yes. So then when I got to the party, I was rather tipsy. So, but there's other fun stuff that happened along the way as well.
I guarantee you guys had a much more, an infinitely better night than I did.
Oh, no. Well, let's start drinking this fresh fruit milkshake IPA from 450 North before we get too deep into it. This is infused with pineapples and vanilla. Sounds amazing. So let's dive on in, boys, shall we?
Dive on in.
Ooh, that's juicy.
That's real juicy.
This is so good. This is so good. I almost forgot to pull my mic up and talk into it.
My goodness. Another awesome beer from 450 North. They just released this last Friday. My good friend, Mr. Casey Taylor, who was on last week's episode, Mr. Jerry Lee's Pub, Market Square Lanes. He picked it up for me. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you, Casey.
This is at least the second fresh fruit that they have done, because I've had the mango.
Yeah, the mango was good too. I remember that one.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds good.
I didn't even consider. So this episode, we've got this milkshake IPA from 450 North, and we've also got a milkshake IPA from BrewLink. And we've also got a Oreo beer from 450 and an Oreo beer from BrewLink. I didn't realize that four of the beers that they're kind of competing. So maybe that'll be an added touch we put at the end of the episode where we say which milkshake we like more and which Oreo beer we like more.
The one that brings the boys to the yard.
Yes.
Damn right.
So far, I am posted up in this yard. I am.
This is my yard.
I got my lawn chair out. I'm
lawn chair. There's a flag.
Yeah. Getting ready to start the barbecue. Like I'm hanging out in the yard for a minute with
I
this
can
one.
teach you.
I'm
gonna have to charge though.
And, speaking of 450, I'm actually noticing what shirt Nick is wearing today.
I am. I finally busted out the.
Speaking of 450, I happen to notice what hat you're wearing today.
All right, so we're rocking it a little hard.
Rocking it a little hard.
Speaking of 450, we're drinking it.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and
speaking of drinking it,
let's drink it.
Oh my goodness, great, awesome. So so last Saturday, it might be 2 Saturdays from now, whenever you're listening to this, it doesn't matter. When we went to do the 450 North Tap Takeover at Jerry Lee's, after we got pretty heavy into the drinking, we started doing trivia, our first trivia night down there. Austin's team won.
That's right. I forgot
you guys get in second? Or were you guys...
We were third.
You were third.
Dick's Bukkake Palooza was third.
Yes.
Juicy Nugs won it.
Juicy Nugs won it.
Team Dave's Dick did nothing.
No, they were not very
Much
good.
like Dave's dick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
does nothing.
Dick
Now I'm
beat
sad.
me
His dick
to
would
it.
do more if it smelled like pancakes. Am I right?
Yes.
Am I right?
That's very true.
That is true.
I never leave the house. If that were the case.
He'd be trying to figure out a way to get rid of those bottom 2 ribs. Oh, man. So after trivia, we went down to the Spot Tavern for a punk show. Punks invaded the spot.
Dirty punks.
Where at least a couple of us got a little out of hand.
I don't think I got out of hand at all.
Dave disagrees. And I can't necessarily disagree because I didn't see you in the pit because I had already pretty much capped out. I was a couple shots deep. Creed specifically said no more shots for you when we're in public. I was like, aw.
It's always good.
Damn it. So, yeah. Apparently I tackled Creed in the parking lot. I spit up a little bit of a shot that I took. Like, most of it was down, and then I kind of it came back up, and it was like, ugh. It was bad. Not as bad as the time it came out my nose.
Ooh.
Oh,
Were you there for that one?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to think of where oh my God, it might have been at the Spot. I think it was at the Spot. I took a shot of Jameson, and it didn't hit right, and it came out my nose.
Oh, yeah, I was there for that.
It just burns the entire senses.
Oh, my God. It was awful.
I think the worst shot I ever took.
We ended up outside after that, and you're like, man, my nose burns so much. I'm so glad this air is cold.
Yeah, I needed it.
I think the worst shot I ever took was here. And I can't remember what it was. I think it was like some scotch that Scooter brought over. And I believe I was still with Kylie at the time.
Ew.
But
the dark days.
Yeah, she's cool now.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't talked to her in years. So
I'm still friends with her. So, but anyway, so I didn't even think about it. We were all taking a shot, and we clinked, and I just immediately almost started drinking it before everybody else did. Everybody wasn't ready, or everybody hadn't clinked yet. So I was like, so I took like a sip, and then that sip turned into because the sudden like, oh shit, I'm not supposed to do this. So like I ended up going straight to the bathroom and just dry heaving for like the next 10 minutes, and like it just tore up my throat.
Been there.
I've been doing this thing that I don't really like lately, where when I'm taking my shots, I've been doing the like beer thing where I don't just shoot it. I like let it swish in my mouth for a minute, and it always makes it worse because I'm not that kind of whiskey drinker, you know, where it's like good flavor. Like, nope, I'm not there yet, and it hurts every time I let it just swish around in my mouth. I'm like, oh,
that was a bad idea.
Yeah, because you're still like trying to swallow that flavor while it overwhelms your throat.
It's bad. It's been bad. I need to get my shit together.
Nick, you need to get your shot game down.
I know, man. I've been drinking too much beer lately. I've been neglecting my liquor habit.
I took a shot Saturday and threw up, and I was sober. So
wow.
There's that.
I took 2 shots after I got out of the mosh pit Saturday.
Impressive.
Let's just
take a
couple shots.
Yeah, let's just do some shots right now. Where's
JMO? Shot challenge.
In the words of Skylar Redmond, let's just do 5 shots, like 8 shots.
8 shots, 21 shots.
Come on, do you want to do like 12 shots? Let's do 13.
Oh man,
no,
I miss Skylar.
No, I went up to the bar at the Spot to go grab a beer, and my buddy Travis was right there that I don't normally get to be able to sit down and drink with, and I'm like, hey dude, let's do a shot. Let's do a shot of some Tullamore. Some Tullamore. Or 2 murders, as you could call it.
Too much of Tullamore, and you could be well on your way to 2 murders.
2 murders.
2 murders.
Maybe 3.
Then he goes, oh, so you're going to do 2 shots of Tullamore Dew, and I'm going to do 2 shots of Tullamore Dew? And I go, yes, that's what we're doing. So I just pound 2 shots, grab a beer, and go.
Ooh, that's the way to do it.
That's not the way I would do it, but
I actually felt so much better after that. Like, it just put the breath back in me after that excessive pit.
Ready to go.
I guess,
ready to go.
as Dave said, I might have taken it too far in the pit, but I felt like I did just fine.
I think you were great.
You might have been a little rowdy, but still up to par.
I don't like a rowdy mosh pit. Come on, I had a nice.
I felt like I didn't
pit.
do anything excessive for it being a punk rock mosh pit in a bar.
I mean,
you could have got more naked.
I'm not here to judge how people want to pit. You can pit however you want, man.
I did keep my pants on, but everything else came off.
I heard that, but I did not see that. Yeah, once I spit up the shot, I was like, I should probably start thinking of an exit strategy.
I actually forgot that I brought you there, and I was leaving. I was like, oh, fuck. I don't remember the last time I saw Nick. I hope I just didn't leave without him.
Nope, I left without him.
And then I didn't think about it again until I got up the next day, and I texted him to see if he was still alive.
Oh, my God, did I leave Nick at the spot? Calls the spot. Is Nick there?
Yeah, he's in the corner.
He's got puke all over him.
Yeah.
He's
Tim
in
answers,
the corner.
Yeah, dude.
He's in the corner just
He's
rocking.
been over here just kind of like
Give him a blanket.
crying for his mom for
He
like
left me.
an hour.